Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today I've got not one, not two, not four, but three different Mill, Janemba, Agent of Mill, whatever you want to call it. I thought all these Agent of Destruction cards, they're all 4 costs of less, and so I thought, they'd be able to fit in Mill Janemba. And something that let's just talk about Mill Janemba, just the leader, just for a second. So of course, like it's like, oh, you should play him if you want to do like a mill deck, right? But even without that, he's just a really good leader, right? He has a restriction of 4 or less, but if you're not playing 4 or less cards anyways, I think you should consider him. And so it's like on the when this card attacks a period, you draw 1 card and then you discard 2 from the top of their deck. But just being able to attack anything and draw a card is really good. You don't really get that right now without having to burst or without having to like take a life. So I think he's really unique in that regard. And then also the Awakened side, just being able to have an instant negate from your hand just by discarding something blue is also really powerful. So just a really solid leader in general. And if you want to run the Agent of Destruction package, I think he's actually one of the best for that. So that's why I'm doing that. So there are 3 levels to this. There's just the version where it's just like today's deck, set 5's deck, and then you just put the new card in. So there's that. Then there's the kind of mild, medium one where they put some yellow, and then there's the full-on spicy version. So let's start with the original one. And so also, even though this is Mill Janemba, decking out your opponent isn't necessarily your win condition, but it's really good that it's just always a win condition just in case, especially since some matchups are really draw heavy. It just makes it really hard for some matchups inherently to win because of that. So but yeah, let's just jump into it. So because this Agent of Destruction one's really powerful, and because it not only mills 3, but you also get to draw a card and untap an energy, I feel like it's a really good target for Childish Heart to go into. So if you just go into this card on like turn 2 or turn 3, you don't have to like use all your energy because this untaps and you get to draw a card too. So I just kind of did that, and so we have Sake Demon into so Sake Demon, for those who don't know, you look at the top 7, you choose a Janemba, and you add it to your hand and shuffle your deck, or you can choose the 1 card on your bottom. Some of these Janemba cards, put them on the bottom, so it's useful in that regard, but it's usually you just do the top 7, and then you can, for 2 blue, evolve into this guy, big old 3-drop barrier guy, and then also, if you activate for 1, you choose 1 Janemba card from your deck, set it to your warp, then shuffle your deck and place this card at the bottom of the owner's deck, so you can see it with Sake Demon, but also, and then you can choose a Janemba card from your warp with an energy cost of 4 and play it. And so that's really handy, even with the Agent of Destruction. So when this card, so activate this, it's a critical 4-drop, active main. First auto. So activate this skill when you play this card from your hand or warp. At the end of your turn, if it's your turn, choose it to 1 of your energy, switch it to active mode. So that's really handy. But also, active main, send this card to the owner's warp, draw 1 card. Then your opponent places 3 cards from the top of the deck to the drop area. So just a lot of mill from that guy, and then also getting to draw a card. And he sends himself to the warp too. So like Childish Heart, you can just use his ability for 1, send him to the warp, and then after you do, or you put him to the bottom of your deck, you put Janemba, send it to your warp, and then you can play this guy. So for whatever reason, if you don't have any left of these in your deck, it doesn't matter because it's going to be in your warp anyways. So there you go. So that's all just fine and dandy. I think just being able to accelerate this guy out as soon as possible, I think is really good, since he just kind of benefits a lot from that. So to help us go there, we just got a lot of defense. So we've got 4 of each of the 2 pseudo combos. We also have Demon Sword Janemba. So this is probably, I'm not sure the ratios on these guys. I'm not sure if 4 and 3 is right on this guy's, but with critical deflect. The only bad thing about this guy is he doesn't have deflect, so it's a minor thing there. But this one's good for removal. So choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, send it to the owner's warp, then place 2 cards from the top of your deck to the owner's drop area. So that's really good. There's not a whole lot of blow-up effects in this deck, so maybe that might be something you want to tech more in. But and then to also help us out, we've got 3 of the Deadly Defender Vegeta, just a really good Deadly Defender. We don't really care about what our life is at, so Deadly Defenders are really good in this deck. We also have 2 Mafubas. We've got 2 Group Leader Pilafs. This card's also, for whatever reason, Shenron Layer doesn't have the image for this, but this is Babidi Overseer of Destruction. So Barrier, it pretty much just puts all of our Agent Destruction's energy costs to or no specific energy, and then also drops the energy cost by 1. So it's really only helpful for this guy. You might not even want to run this card in a more traditional version of this deck. I just put him in there just because for today. But whatever the meta kind of changes to, I'd say that this is the first card to go. Whenever you need to put tech cards in the main deck, I'd take out this Bobbity for this version of the deck. So. And then after that, Senzu Bean's pretty obvious, Dimension Magic's pretty obvious. 3 Dende new to the job. I'd say one of the weaker points of this deck is being food or being like Gogeta, so just being able to stop that or delay it. Just if they decide to put like energy down is really good. And that's about it. Also, like there's some decks coming out next set that kind of play cards from your energy, so Dende is kind of helpful for that as well. So, and I think that's everything. So this is the mild version. If you want like a really safe version of this deck, I'd choose this one. But let's scooch over to the medium one. So immediately, what you'll see is that I took out the Sake Demon and like the yellow Fat Janemba for some yellow package. And I think this is actually, I really like this build. I've been playing it a couple times. Shout out to Apollo 1993 for a really close game we had. He did a really funny play where he stole my Bojack with Ginyu. And then he locked my Janemba down and I couldn't win. I think I couldn't win, or I couldn't attack with it, which was really, really frustrating. But this card's really good. Just when you play this card, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring variants, which is a rest mode, which awesome. And then also active main 2. If this card's in rest mode, choose your opponent's leader card, switch to rest mode. It can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. And so even against decks that aren't Mill Janemba, being able to just kind of stop them from like either like just attacking is making them lose one of their attacks, and then also if they're awakened or not, like they usually get to draw a card from their attacks too, so you also get them not having their card draw. So I think that's really good for 2 energy, especially since we're a more controlling archetype and style like that. I think that's really good. So there's that, and then we also put in 3 of the Vegeta striving to be the best. This is a really good combo with Bojack, just because Bojack puts something to rest even if it has barrier, and you can just use Vegeta to blow it up. So that's really cool, has some synergy there. We also ran 3 Crusher Ball. Crusher Ball is actually really good right now. I feel like people are just not caring about stuff. They're just like, oh, I can play something and it has barriers, so I'm safe. But you can just play Crusher Ball, and the next turn you just play Vegeta striving to be the best, and then they're just kind of out of luck, and you just blow up their thing for like 3 energy, and then you get 1 back. So that's really powerful. And I already talked about it with this Bobbity, but this becomes a 2-drop that you can play with any energy if there's a Bobbity out. So that's really powerful, just playing this out on 2. And even if you don't have the energy for Vegeta, if you just have like some big 2-drop, you can just play this, and then your Janemba has something to attack to. If you really want to go for the mill strategy, you don't want to actually attack their leader ever. So that's why Agent of Destruction is really good for that. Bojack and everything else is pretty much the same. We're running 4 of the Janemba Agent of Destruction, 4 of Demon Sword. Some of these ratios can still be tweaked, so if there's cards you want to fit in, I'd say you can take out a Demon Sword, maybe even a Vegeta Strive would be the best, but that's really good. And then also, just running 2 Bad Ring Laser. I bet no one will ever think that Janemba Mill will have Bad Ring, so just having that in case you need it is awesome. I think it's really powerful. Catch your opponent off guard again, so yeah, just really powerful there. So there's this version, and then I'd say this is, of the 3, this is my favorite. This is the one I've had the most experience with. It just feels really good, especially it feels really good just to drop a big old Bojack and then having them blow up something. Even like blowing up their path to greatness just feels really good. So and then lastly we've got the super duper spicy. So this is going kind of all in on the fact of, well, you better have Bobbity out, but and that's the really big weakness I feel like in this Agent of Destructions, is that it really depends on this 1-drop Bobbity, and this Bobbity isn't really searchable right now. So that's kind of the only stink of this entire deck. But yeah, this version just kind of focuses on being able to just play a bunch of these Agents of Destruction. So you want to make this Bobbity out, but the other 2 that we added, we added Slugs. So Slugs kind of lackluster in a way that really it's a big old 2-drop that you're able to drop a card from their hand. So if you want to be more control-y style, this is a really good card for that. But Android 13 is also a really good card, especially if you're trying to lock out your opponent. It's critical, and then also just being able to pay 2 energy to just like drop a card in their hand and on the field feels really good. I think it's just really strong, and something that, since these guys are all like big 20Ks, they have to kind of invest to blow up these guys, and so chances are they don't want to. And so if they don't want to blow up these guys, they're just going to stick here for a while. And if they stick here, it's just really good. And since Bojack and Android 13 both have some just really powerful like lockdown effects, being able to just stop their leader from attacking, or stopping, like, just being able to blow up 2 cards for 2 energy is really good. So there's that. And then to compensate all this, we just have I don't know, we just really want to find this Bobbity, right? And then from there we just drop our we put some Raging Sun Gohans in there just for more defense, and since there's chances are we're just going to have a bunch of energy open anyways, so I feel like that's really powerful. And then yeah, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to really explain from here. This is definitely the more spicy version, and this is probably the least consistent version of the deck, but I'd also say this is the most fun just because you're playing 4 of the 5 agents. You can't play either of the secret rares in this deck because we are playing Janemba, but all these cards are 4 cost or less, so that's what made sense. In worst case, like, if you don't want to like rush your opponent down, you can just slowly ping them, ping their deck until they're dead anyway. So it's just kind of like an alternate win condition. You're always pushing some win condition with this leader, which I think is really powerful, and we can really take advantage of. But yeah, these are the decks. I recommend trying them out, either the mild or medium one for sure. Spicy one if you're just feeling bored. But I think they all have some promise for it. Especially, I don't know, I really like this one. I think the blue-yellow version is probably my favorite. I think it has the biggest potential, so I really recommend trying this version out. Just being able to kind of lock out your opponent and stuff like that. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if these decks are just kind of crazy and I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.